Today is Monday, November 18th, and this is Celtics Beat on the CLNS Media Network, the leading online provider of audio-video coverage of the Boston Celtics. I'm Adam Kaufman. Episode 341, featuring former Celtic Tony Allen, is brought to you by betonline.ag. Go to betonline.ag and use the promo code CLNS50 for a 50% bonus on your first deposit. Welcome into a very special Celtics Beat with an incredibly special guest as well. We're going to bring him in just a moment, but first...
Kemba the drive. Marcus Smart wants it. Final second. Smart drives to the game.
Thought it was going in. I think everybody thought it was going in, and it just rolled out. And, it's one of those games.
Definitely going on a win streak like that builds confidence, but it's a long season, man. You got to continue to win games, and you proved that you continue to win games no matter what and whatever circumstance. So, to me, 10-game winning streak is great, but at the same time, it's a long season, and we got to continue to stay the course and try to be consistent as possible.
That's right. Unfortunately, Boston's 10-game winning streak now over. You heard from Marcus Smart and then Jaylen Brown there. The C's still lead the East. They're 10-2 heading into tonight's game in Phoenix against old friend Aaron Baines and the upstart Suns. Normally, we'd talk maybe a little bit about Baines and how well he's playing, everything like that, how much we miss him in green. But we're going to talk about the Celtics' early season success, take a trip down memory lane, and answer some of your questions with our guest, the grindfather, Tony Allen. 14 years in the NBA, all started in Boston, drafted back in 2004, retired in 2018, solid career, definitely a fan favorite around these parts. What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, man, everything's going well right now. Just hanging out with the fam, taking advantage of that time, enjoying retirement.
What are you up to now, other than obviously hanging with the family, which I know can be a full-time job in and of itself?
Oh, man, just trying to figure it out in this sports radio world. Trying to just take my career to a Tony Allen basketball level in the sports world, and just taking it one day at a time.
I'm going to put you on the spot right from the start here. 6 years in Boston, yes, 7 in Memphis, title with the Celtics, but personally, you had your best years with the Grizzlies. So which team do you most associate yourself with?
Well, it's kind of even. I keep in tune with all the guys from the championship 2018, guys like Paul, Ticket, Rondo, Perk, Eddie House, those guys. You never lose connection with those guys. Obviously, coming to Memphis, I was able to get out of the Big Three shadow and pretty much get some notoriety on Tony Allen name with the defense that I was loved to play throughout my career. But I have to say, it's about even. I keep in tune with everybody. I love both places. I love Memphis. I still live here, and the memories will never go away from what I built in Boston.
How often are you guys on that text thread, you and the guys from the championship run?
It's always a group text with Doc. Just the other day, Doc just sent a real inspirational message through group text. And it's a family, man. It's just one of those things when, you set front to do something early, you execute the plan, and winning the championship, that bond, that brotherhood, I just think it never gets old, man. It grows and stays stronger because, that camaraderie you guys had, the camaraderie we had, actually, in winning the championship.
Has Paul figured out how to text an emoji yet?
Yeah, man. It'd be some funny little he's and ha-has in the group text, but most importantly, man, I'm just happy we keep in tune, man. We still buddies, man.
Obviously, and I was going to hit this eventually, but since you rattled off some of the names of the guys in that text, one obvious one that I didn't hear, that's Ray Allen. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, Ray, actually, my family, my wife and kids, that Ray and those guys have a house in Miami. He still lives in Miami. And my family, they took a quick trip down there for this past weekend, I believe. And they still keep it tuned, man.
That's good. How about you, though? Are you in touch with him at all?
Yes. He actually, I'm waiting on a jersey with his name in it. I haven't decided which jersey I'm going to get. I wanted the Boston Celtics one, but if he got the championship Miami Heat, I wouldn't be mad at that one either.
So, I think a lot of fans around here wouldn't be too happy with that one, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't be happy. But, hey, man, Ray's a Hall of Famer, man, good friend. Man, I was happy for him when he went over there and got his other rings. And, man, can't forget the Boston Celtics one. But, hey, man, Ray Allen is a Hall of Fame. I don't think nobody would be too mad to get one of those jerseys.
Have the other guys, I know some of them have talked about it in recent years. I've had Perk on the show, talked to him quite a bit about a bunch of stuff, but Ray as well. I know he and Paul have mended fences. It just seems to be that divide, or at least that reported divide between, Ray and KG. Have they settled up? Are they back on speaking terms and everything?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they cordial, but as far as speaking every day, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But what I do know is, hey, man, the time that we went to put our focus on winning the championship, we executed and did that. And, hey, man, we too far in life, man, to keep holding on to some old. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys talk if they haven't already.
So when's that big reunion with all you guys going to happen? I know there were talks. Rondo was trying to get a 10-year reunion together last year, and it didn't pan out, for one reason or another. Are we going to see all that come together at some point?
I'm looking forward to it, man. I would love to see those great faces, man. It's like Scott Pollard, guys.
Yeah.
Forget about Scott Pollard, P.J. Brown, Glenn Davis. A lot of those guys, man. Those guys was good guys in the locker room, man. I just talking about it now, I could think about our funny little moments at the breakfast table, in practice, and just that whole little run, man. We set the tone to win the championship, man, out there in Rome, man. I would love for a 10-year trust. It's probably more than 10 years now.
Yeah.
We might have to do a 15.
You have any good stories from either back in that season winning the title or in the other years that you were here? Because obviously, like we said, here for 6 years. Just, there have been so many stories from that run and that group. But I don't know, there's got to be something really good from behind the scenes that you can let us in on that hasn't been told 50 times already.
Well, I'll give you a story about Paul.
Okay.
Just how competitive he was, for him to be the maxed out guy of the star, our face for the organization. He kind of gravitated to it. Well, not gravitated. He pretty much picked me to be his, what would you say, I don't know, whooping kid or whatever, because I was a rookie.
Yeah.
Because, it was like one of those things, like a big brother kind of thing. And, every time I would come in the gym, I would be on the green team. The green team is the second unit, and the team that has on the white color jersey, they the stars. So it was always a competitive thing going on. And every time I get on the court, Paul would always know that I would be sticking him, right? So he would try to speak in third person when he come on the court, and he'd ask the whole team, like, "Yo, anybody know who got Paul Pierce today?" And I'll be laughing like, "Man, I got you. It's about to be a great battle." And he'd tell me right in my face, like, "TA, there's only 3 things that's gonna happen right now." And me being a rookie, I'm feeding into it. Like what? He said, "I'm gonna either score, be fouled, or get an assist." And I said, "Ain't this about something, man?" And as a rookie, man, it was kind of like a threat, and then you have to be the one to stop him, and coaches getting on you, and oh man, it was a funny moment that every time he saw me, he would say that though.
Since you mentioned Paul, I got to ask you about this. I'm sure you saw it or at least heard about it. So back in June, he was doing, I think it was finals coverage with, ABC, ESPN, whatever, and he jokingly confessed on TV that when he was taken off the floor in that wheelchair that we all remember and talk about, it was because he had to go to the bathroom. So for years, people have joked that the man pooped himself. And then he says this, it blows up on social media, even right down to people dissecting the old video. And there's this shot of you, because you're one of the guys that's carrying him off the floor, and you just look absolutely disgusted.
Yeah, like as if I smell something. Okay,
yeah, no. Exactly.
No, man. Well, actually, man, as I'm replaying that moment back in my head, I think I was so excited about us being, in that environment as far as the finals. Like I was kind of like shocked. I'm like, yo, if Paul doesn't get up, this is our championship here. And all I can remember is just carrying him, making sure he was all right. But when I got the news, I was kind of shocked myself, to be honest. I was kind of shocked myself, and I kind of got on, give him a hard time, today. But I didn't. I was obviously like one of the only ones who didn't know what was going on, and I was trying to get them back to the back so they could do whatever they had to do to him to get back in the game. But I don't know. I felt out like everybody else.
Well, it sounds like all they had to do was get him back into the game was change his shorts.
Yeah, now that you look back at it, but man, at that time, adrenaline pumping, games going, crowd hollering, you thinking. I was thinking that I was about to get in the game, and they was about to, win the game through me, but that didn't happen.
What? Listen, you were a big part of a whole bunch of wins, but what's that like? I was in the building that night, and I'm just there in the stands, obviously having the time of my life. But what's that like as a player when, guy gets wheeled off the floor and then 2 minutes, if that later, comes running out, the place just thunderous applause, it's going crazy, NBA Finals. What was that moment like as, for you and immediate, instantly for a moment thinking this is our championship run, like you said, and then he's back and it's, oh my God, we're right back, we're on track.
Yeah, and that moment he came back, I was so excited. All I could remember, him hitting me upside my chest or something. He either hit my chest, my arm, or my head or something. I can't remember, but he got my attention. It was like, let's go. And I looked back up, and it was like, I can't even front. It was like Superman coming through here because he hit those 5 threes. I think it was 3 or 4 threes. I'm not sure, man, to get us through. And, I mean, he didn't hit those big shots. All I was saying was he just got a load off his body. He got
a load off, all right.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So he was a little lighter on his feet, and I think that's what put us in the position to get the win, man.
When you guys are on that text thread after he said that, again a few months back, whatever it was, how many poop emojis did you guys start to send each other with him just receiving those things?
Oh man, it was going down. Group text, everybody had hee ha ha. So it was fun, man. I mean, Paul can't complain, man. He got a ring at him.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah.
There was this story at one point about some of you guys on that team putting boxing gloves on and duking it out before practice. Rondo and Ray going at it. Tell me that story. How'd that come about?
Well, obviously we had a locker room full of individuals who was very opinionated. I mean, all the guys, let their opinion out in film, in practice. Even guys would agree to disagree about how we should, do the pick and roll. When Doc would give us suggestions and we in-game changes and all that, whatever. And we practice amongst each other like we are the opponents of the other upcoming teams. So sometimes tempers flare. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Paul's idea. He was messing with Patrick. What's the guy's name? Oh man, you got me on the spot right now.
One of the staffers?
No, it was actually one of the players. It was a 7-footer. I forgot his name. It was Patrick something.
I'll figure it out. Give me a sec. I'll think of it.
Yeah. But 7-footer. He was with us for a short stint. But listen, Paul was arguing with him one day, and Paul told him, you know, hey man, every time I come in here, man, you the first one in the cafeteria, and I think you should be on the court first.
Patrick O'Brien. That's who it was.
Patrick O'Brien. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Patrick O'Brien. So he told Patrick O'Brien that, and Patrick O'Brien told him, come on, man, I'm eating my food. You know, they kind of had words. But Paul had another idea. Paul said, you know what, man? Hey, man, we going to have to get on Celtic time around here. And we ain't going to be throwing no real punches. But we can throw these gloves. And before you know it, I think it was the next day probably, Paul come back to the breakfast. He got gloves, and everybody was excited. So we get into the locker room. We waited till everybody got in the locker room. And we had a weight room session, mandatory weight room session with everybody. And all I can remember is Paul giving up the gloves. And I remember who I chose. I chose Big Baby Davis to have a boxing match with. So I figured, hey, I'm going to go with the biggest guy of them all. And all I can remember is, you know, Glenn Baby knocking me out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. I tried to rush him and get me a few punches in, but all I remember is the glove hitting me, knocking me out. And then Patrick and Paul, they had a little boxing match. Ray and Rondo had a boxing match, and I forgot who else had a boxing match. But
what was that?
I was just about to say that was one of the funniest practices we ever had. Like, guys actually had a boxing match and was going at it right before we tipped off practice. It was fun, man. We had some good moments, man. It's funny you even brought that up. I didn't think anybody talked about that.
Oh, for sure. No, I mean, like I said, there are just so many great stories from that time, you know, stuff that either people don't remember or that, you know, who knows what you guys have never even talked about that you're probably intelligently keeping behind the scenes. But what was that relationship between Rondo and Ray like? I know all the reports and obviously that, you know, certainly by the end things had gotten cold, but along the way, you know, as you guys are competing, trying to separate what's on the floor, what's off the floor, what was that dynamic?
Well, hey, I know you hear the reports, but me personally, I always thought their relationship was, for the most part, kept in-house. You know what I mean? Like, I was oblivious to everything. Like, I thought Ray and, you know, Rondo was just the best of friends. I really didn't know. But what I can say, they professionals. When they were around me, I saw a lot of assists go from Rondo to Ray as we could rewind the clips. We all seen this, but as far as their personal relationship, I didn't know anything. I thought they was cool. I thought they were cordial. I thought they acted as professionals on the court. Now, off the court, I just believe that's it. That's up to anybody. If they want to, you know, choose to stick to themselves, that's what they need the right to do. But nobody should just look at these guys so they need to be buddies. But if they can be cool in one room, in one setting, I mean, hey, I don't think it should be a topic anymore.
Ray did this interview the other day. I don't remember who with at this point, but he said that he was actually interested in re-signing with the Celtics back in 2016 if Boston had been able to land Kevin Durant. We all know, you know, he goes to the Warriors and what happened there. But, you know, do you think that would have been a nice way for him to turn the perception around here since, you know, obviously it took some of you guys, not necessarily you personally, but some of you guys on that team weren't happy about it when he left to go play with LeBron in Miami, and the fans took it to another level in terms of just the hate and vitriol and the way he'd get booed when he came back, when he still played. Do you think that could have, I don't know, changed the perspective if he had wound up coming back for one more title run or at least attempt at it?
Well, if he came back, you know, we all look back and say, you know, hey, this would have probably been a better way. This probably been. At the end of the day, Ray Allen did what he wanted to do. He made up his mind. He won two extra championships after that. So it's like if Ray, look, I just feel Ray, is a well-mannered guy. I mean, had he came back, it would have been a success story. But what he went and did is like just a phenomenal idea for him to just stay in Miami. I mean, you look at the way he won that ring. If it wasn't for him stepping back and hitting that three,
yeah, they don't win.
They don't win. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And who knows if Ticket, Ray, Paul, Rondo, who's to say that they would beat them? We never know. But I just think what he did was just a phenomenal decision for him to win that championship with another team. It also showed that, hey, I'm going to play the cards I'm dealt. I'm going to do it my way. And it was a great idea, man. And had he came, we don't know. We just don't know. It's something we always think about. But to answer your question, it would have been great. But we just don't know what would have happened had he came back.
Do you guys still think about, some of the, I don't know, for lack of a better term, what ifs of that era? Like, obviously, what if Perk wasn't traded? What if, Shaq and Jermaine O'Neal both stayed healthy during that run in 2010? Obviously, Perk as well. Some of the injuries that took place you guys won a championship, and that is the pinnacle. That is what you aspire to, and no one will ever take it away from you. But do you guys ever look back at that era and say, man, came so close to a second? What if Ray had come back like you just talked about, and we could have extended that window? Is there any of that, or are you guys just thrilled with obviously what you accomplished and you don't even let that creep into your mind?
Oh man, I would have to say, the guys, all the guys that was on that 2008 Celtic team, I think that the groundwork we put into going to Rome, having what they call it now, what's that there? I ain't been in the league so long. What they call it? Training camp.
Right.
Training camp. They have training camp in Rome. So now let me tell you the story, and then just telling you this story can pretty much answer your question.
Okay.
So we all go to Rome. I'm coming into my second year in the league. My third year in the league. I've never been out the country. You know what I mean? At least this far, no way. But this is my first time being like in Rome and stuff like that. So I'm excited. So it means more to me. At this time of my life, we got Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce. These guys are all on the same team. Who don't want that to work? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a dream come true.
It's not guaranteed that it's gonna work. It's chemistry. You got to have chemistry, and somebody has to sacrifice. So that was the whole thing. Like Paul, Ray, and all those guys was like high 20 points, top 5, top 10 scores in the league individually. So to see, I'm trying to figure out. It's too much basketball for all these dominant scores. That's what I was thinking at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what made me realize that this was going to work, the whole starting five shaved their heads bald. Like that, to me, was the first sign of sacrifice and commitment to me, if you ask me. Because I'm like, we just came down here. We got these great players, great roster behind it. Like, what are we going to do to show the brotherhood, or to show each one of your brothers that, hey, I'm riding with you. We're going to do this all together. And they had an African proverb called Ubuntu.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this guy from I'm not sure what part of Nigeria he's from, but he came in and spoke to us and gave us some inspiration throughout the season, whatever. And he came up with that word, and that word, if I'm not mistaken, Ubuntu means, I want to be better for my brother. So when in any doubt, if my brother is down, I can lift him, and we could do the same thing. Each one lift one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we used to use that term as we play ball throughout each game. Ubuntu, we yell it out as a group. And the set in stone, like, to secure KG's mind and let him know, man, it ain't about nothing else but basketball. If you gonna do this, I'm gonna do it. I'm right behind you. And I think that alone set the tone that the sacrifice was there. Like, Paul could easily just say, I'm gonna shoot all the balls like I'm James Harden. Ray Allen could say, hey, I'm gonna just shoot this shot every time and just see if I hit it. Ticket could demand the ball in the post every time and just go to work. But what those guys did was, I think going to Rome, I think they just set it. They set the game plan down that, hey, man, we going to do this, man. It's going to take everybody. It ain't going to just take one man. And to actually go through the year, to go through the teams that we went through, to get to the championship, early LeBron, a vicious young LeBron, you know what I'm saying, in Cleveland, Joe Johnson in his prime. We almost lost that series. And I think they will came from just training camp. It's just like we went over what we need to do. We know who needs to be the scorers. We know who need to be the defenders. We know who need to do everything, and we just hold everyone accountable. Keep that one team, one goal mindset, and we'll win a championship. And that happened. It actually happened. I actually think that happened. And I don't know, man. Just bringing that right up right now, man. It just gives me a smile. My armpits get to getting sweaty because that feeling, that knowing that we laid the groundwork in, man. The second unit, giving the first unit game type defense, game type prep. The coaching staffs, the training camp, like everybody, like that whole 2008, man. I figure if Perk, actually in 2010, I don't mean to be going a little ahead of the question, but in 2010, you know, if Perk don't even get hurt, I think we win 2 of them.
I agree. Absolutely.
I want to say that. I really want to say that, man, because Perk was he was like locking Bynum up. He was making it tough on Powell, clogging up the paint. I think that was a blow for us. And within those 2 years, man, you know, injuries or whatever came through. But I mean, I love that group, man. 2008 group. I love all those guys, man.
How much have you, and I'm going somewhere with this, but how much have you paid attention to the Celts over the last couple of years, you know, since, you know, like toward the, you know, kind of the twilight of your career into retirement?
Man, when I went to Memphis, I paid attention to them the whole time I was in Memphis for a second, for like the first 3 years or whatever. Just wondering to see what they were going to do, you know, when they had Jason Terry, Avery Bradley, you know, Marquise Daniels. Mm-hmm. Like, I was keeping in tune with them, but I didn't think they were going like make too much noise, you know, without me when I left. but yeah, I kept in tune a little bit. I keep in tune with them more now than I did before, though. Now that I'm not playing, I would say.
So when Perk came on the show recently, he just, you know, we had a great chat like this, and he just, you know, went off on how embarrassed he was as a Celtic, as a champion, as a member of that Ubuntu era like you talked about, as someone who believes so strongly about chemistry and togetherness and what you guys achieved when you were all here. Embarrassed as a Celtic by Kyrie Irving's behavior, his attitude during his short couple years in Boston. Were you? I mean, did that resonate with you as well as a guy that played here and won here?
Honestly, I can't even front. Like, it was kind of different. Look, knowing what I know, that how those superstars, the great, that came through there and show how to, you know, be a. How can I say this? Just know how to be the leader. You know what I mean? Just the leader. Mm-hmm. You look at our leader at the time. I can only just speak around this 2008 time, but you look at our leader at the time was Paul Pierce. You know, Paul Pierce was the kind of guy. You know, he make it clear. Like, hey man, I play with my emotions on my sleeve. And this is what he'll tell you, the locker room. Like, hey, I play with the emotions on my sleeve. And he'll let us know, like, yo, I'm passionate about what I'm saying, so if I get on you, don't take it personal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think guys in the locker room had enough skin to know Paul played with his emotions on his sleeve. So if we out there BSing and we losing or whatever, Paul will let it be known, man. You know, I got to answer all those questions. I got to, you know what I mean? I'm the one going to take the hit for us when you know, things ain't going well for. I got to answer all those questions. So with that respect being demanded, when Paul want us to play hard or if he need us diving on a loose ball or whatever the case may be, you know, we understood that because Paul sacrificed so much and so much was on his plate. You know what I mean? And I think the locker room itself embraced how he explained how he would act. You know what I mean? And I think when Kyrie was doing that, I think he should have probably just explained what's at stake. You know what I mean? Hey, it's a lot on my plate. They're expecting me to be the such and such. Just bear with me. I thought had he explained what he was going through and what's what, I think it probably would have flowed a little better and got out to the media a little understanding. You know what I mean? Because you got to figure, man, Kyrie left a championship team to go to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So they're expecting that same kind of play. But the only thing is, they didn't have LeBron to complement that talent. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
And it took he had to take the initiative on his own, that load on his own, to carry a team, to be the mental mind for the team, to be the heart and soul of the team. That takes a lot. And so sometimes it can get overwhelming for a superstar. And that's why I brought up Paul Pierce, because I seen times when my boy Paul Pierce would get mad and be upset about either how he played or how we played. But he would explain to us like, yo, I need a better effort. I ain't happy. Woo, with how the game went on or whatever. And it definitely it eased the locker room. I just think it eased the locker room. That's my point. It eased the locker room. If your superstar can explain his emotions and explain what's going through his mind, I think it'd have been better. But to answer that question, no, I was not happy with that little movement, because I was looking at guys like I say, Paul Pierce, who's actually been in that type of position. You know, when he had a young team, you know, and us, you know what I mean? He would tell us in the locker room, I need you guys to play better. We need to be doing better. He start with me. He would always put himself first. Start with me. And so when a guy could actually just stand up in front of the locker room and say, hey, man, this is my fault. This is the reason why we lose, and I need to be better, but I'm also need you guys to such. It's just all about delivery and how your display. You know what I mean? Like, when you're saying this stuff, you want to be passionate about it, but you don't want to be going crazy calling people out their names and things of that nature. It's just delivery. And I just looked at it like Kyrie ain't really represented like some of the old leaders that like I want to call them old. Don't mean to call them old, but
sure,
guys like Paul Pierce and Ticket, the way they carry themselves, and it just didn't look fashionable.
One quick break. We'll get right back to Tony. Want to tell you, though, today's show is brought to you by BetOnline.ag. Football season's close to entering its fourth quarter, so get into the game with our exclusive sports betting partner, BetOnline.ag. You can sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit to start betting college or professional ball. Every spread, every total, every winner, every loser, straight bet, parlay, tease, whatever, all your way through the season. And you can even bet on wild prop bets, like who's going to win MVP. Looking like Lamar Jackson right now, maybe Russell Wilson. Will the Bengals ever win a game? Not looking like it. Playoff and Super Bowl odds, those races, they're tightening up. So get the fastest to market odds updates and payouts with our new sportsbook partner, BetOnline.ag. Head over to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use promo code CLNS50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline.ag, your online sportsbook experts. Back to the show. So with Kyrie, obviously, the experience in Cleveland where he's kind of, ignoring guys toward the end there and clearly wanted out. And then he goes to Boston, like we talked about, not much of a leader. Elite talent. We know what he's able to do on the floor, but not a leader. Not a guy who's viewed as really good for the room. And it promises to stay in Boston, and then first it's somewhere along the line in that over the course of last season changed his mind. He's going to go home, as he put it, to not Jersey but Brooklyn, and it seems like that's kind of had an up and down start. I'm just wondering, what as a guy who obviously is so well respected, during your time in the league and so well connected as well. What's the perception of Kyrie around the league? Just as a dude, is he just out there and a little bit different, or is there more to it?
Yeah, I would agree with you on a little bit different side. Here's a guy who said the world is flat.
That's right.
So now once somebody come out and say that, it lets you know, hold on, all right, this guy right here might not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but hey, we could deal with him. And when you knowing stuff like that, he's weird. You just gotta. I mean, hey, they pamper these kind of guys, man. They give them all this money, right? And he's the chosen one. Don't get that twisted. He's definitely a talent. But guys get this money. They get this notoriety. They get put on this pedestal. So now he got to keep that up. So the fire in him, his competitive edge, it all boils in one. And sometimes, man, pressure busts pipes. I was always told you never think out loud when you're angry, right? You never want to let nobody know you're upset and that they get into you, okay? Well, Kyrie needs to learn that aspect of it. Don't think out loud. When you're upset, he just got to learn that. And he played with his emotions on his sleeve. He's a very emotional player. You could tell. He's always pout. Sometimes when he's missing shots, he's pouting. And here's a guy that's probably striving to be the best point guard ever talked about. You don't know what type of goals he set for himself that he probably didn't fulfill. He probably upset that, you know what I mean? We got to understand the person first before we just come to our own perception of them. So I just think if I would have to say anything, it would be, a lot of people might think he's weird, but hey, a lot of people might think I'm weird when I was playing. But I don't know. Whatever drives you to get you ready to be the greater you, man, you should do it. And if you hold yourself to a high standard and just a high standard, I'm talking about elite standard. And I think you're going to be mad at yourself. You're going to be a little edgy. I mean, in a locker room setting, it'll get frustrated at some time. But like I say, you just got to learn that aspect of not thinking out loud. So guys like us won't be able to be so opinionated about his display.
With this team this year, obviously, since Kyrie leaves, Kemba Walker comes in. There have been more changes on both sides to that, but there's been kind of a rebirth for this franchise, and it's make the Celtics fun again, and they've been so much fun to watch. 10 straight wins would be 11 if Marcus Smart's floater fell in Sacramento. What do you think this team's ceiling is? How good can these C's be?
You know what I like, man? I like these guys love playing with each other. I know we just got through talking about Kyrie. We know how the team played when he wasn't playing last year. Last year when those guys were saying Kyrie, a ball stopper and all that. Are you familiar with that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. Well, with that being said, like, you can see it this year. Like, they're free. They're enjoying the mode. You look at guys like Jaylen Brown. They were looking at him like an inconsistent scorer at one point. Now you look at him like, he left some money on the table. He probably should have got 150.
Right.
The way he's playing. Jason Tatum, I like his poise. He's keeping those guys motivated to come through him. He's running the lane. He's getting buckets. He's shooting the ball well from three. Heart and soul, Marcus Smart. He come back, locking everything up. And then Kemba Walker has shown that, hey, man, I can mix it up. I can go playground style basketball when they give it to me, or I can play in this great system that Coach got for me to, make cuts, make plays off the pick and roll, get others involved. And I think guys on that team are back happy again. I think they're enjoying the game of basketball, and it's showing in they play. Like you say, if Marcus hit the floater, hey, there's just still have, a win streak going, but man, the Celtics I see them I want to say, I don't want to go ahead of myself and say, I'm going to see them in the finals, but the way they playing right now, for sure, if I had to put my money on, I'd say, hey, those guys will be in the Eastern Conference Final.
Does this team have a Tony Allen?
Yes, Marcus Smart. They got an Oklahoma State Cowboy. That's my boy. They got a Cowboy over there, man.
So I don't need to
Marcus
ask you your
Smart.
favorite player on the team then.
Man, the heart and soul, man. That engine don't go without the heart and soul, man. Hey, Oklahoma, go Cowboys, go Pokes. Let's go Pokes. Yeah, man, you getting me excited right now, man. I definitely like the Celtics this year, man. It's just their energy, man. The energy they playing with, man. I was watching those guys. I'm saying to myself, like, I ain't seen nobody frown. I'm seeing everybody smile. They high-fiving, cheesing at each other. Oh, man, they back. They rejuvenated.
I'll mix in some questions I got for you on Twitter just while we're chatting here, because there obviously a whole bunch came in on Marcus. I won't give you all of them, but some of the remove the bias because you love Smart, I love Smart too. But removing personal affinity, Lloyd wants to know: is Marcus Smart the best defender in the league today?
Marcus Smart is the best. I would have to give a toss-up between him and Pat Bev. Although Russell Westbrook just annihilated his defense with his comment. But I would have to say yes. I would have to, and not being biased neither, simply because, I'm going to give you this. The way I played the game back in the day, we could actually use our forearm as an arm bar for guys who were bigger than us, posting up or beating us off the dribble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you can't even put your forearm on nobody. You got to actually have your arms spread wide, your feet ready to move laterally, and you have to be agile to stay in front so you won't get crossed over. And I think Marcus has done a great job of doing that. I mean, his footwork, his timing, and knowing how to put the brakes on when you stop as a ball handler, contest shots. I think he do a great job of that without fouling. And I think, him scoring is a plus, but him keeping his opponent under some of their scoring averages, I think he's the guy well equipped for that, and he's been doing a wonderful job this year.
You may have just answered this question, but I'll ask it anyway in the event that it's something different. Pat wants to know, what's a part of Marcus Smart's defensive game that the casual fan might not see but's very impressive?
Okay, and you're right, I did answer that. He doesn't fall into the guy's ball handle. I kind of think this guy's, and this is just me knowing defense.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he was watching this guy, the opponent's waist. So that, because if you watch Smart, he always loaded low with his legs, ready to move laterally, and he never really gets beat. If he gets beat, he always recovers. He puts on his brakes to turn around. Because mind you, when somebody blows past you, you can't put your forearm on him to slow him down from like making the play or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what you would have to do is be quick enough to actually run in the direction he's going in, stop with your feet plant and contest. I think that's one of the hardest things to do as a defender when you can't put that arm bar there. So I'm rolling with the Cowboys, man.
This is a good one from my producer, Evan. You versus Marcus Smart one-on-one. Who scores first?
No points ever get scored.
It's never nothing.
0-0.
For all eternity.
I'll see you tomorrow, Marcus.
Oh, that's a good answer. Talking about your defense, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, Kobe Bryant scored third most points in NBA history, more than LeBron, at least as of now, more than Jordan, clearly. What's it mean to you when he says that you're the toughest defender that he ever went up against?
Oh, man, I came in front. It was flattering. It was flattering, man. I kind of smiled. I cheesed a little bit. And the reason why I did that, not because I know Kobe or not because, like, all right, everybody in the world is like, wow, Kobe gave you shoes and signed them and said you're the best. Man, Kobe Bryant never said a word to me. Like, we never spoke a conversation. Like if he did say something to me, he'll just be like, "Oh, good defense," and he'll just. But even when he did that, me personally, I never wanted to have a conversation with him. I never wanted to talk to him. Like he was my, let's just say, he was my litmus test on the defensive end to see why I need to be. And I say that because I stuck Paul Pierce in practice every day. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For 7 years, I stuck Paul Pierce every day in practice. And my whole thing was, if I could stick Paul Pierce every day in practice, I'm not going to shut him down. I'm not going to stop him. But for sure, these reps that I'm getting to defend Paul Pierce is the best sparring partner ever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So ultimately, we knew we had to go through the Lakers. I remember one time playing an early preseason Laker game. We played all our guys. We lost. Doc Rivers getting $100 from everybody in the locker room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying, if we're going to win the championship, we're going to have to go through the Lakers. We all took the $100 in the locker room, right? Put the $100 in the box. Now, imagine you in these locker rooms, you could push the ceiling up and you can actually put something. So, okay, we pushed the ceiling up, put the money in the box and said, we ain't going to touch it. We're going to have to win in L.A. to win the championship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went on and did it.
That box was right where you guys left it?
Exactly. It was right where we left it. But I'm not saying that to say that. My point is, all the way until that time, I was trying to prepare to lock down Kobe. You know what I mean? I was trying to prepare to understand his moves, to understand what a prolific scorer thinks like, and who was better litmus test to do that to with Paul. So, okay, Paul is giving me all the step backs, the pull-up jumpers, corner threes, going to the basket, trying to dunk on me. What better test to get it firsthand? You get what I'm saying? He's a Hall of Fame in Paul Pierce.
So what made you obviously other than going up against Paul and having that be incredible practice and studying video, just in terms of like tactics, what tactics did you use? What made you so successful against Kobe, you think?
That's what I'm trying to get to with defending Paul. Like I just figured if I could stick Paul every day in practice, there's no reason why I can't. And
sure.
It just so happened we went to L.A. and, we put that up there and it just dawned on me like, okay, I need to be getting ready for Kobe Bryant every day, so I need to be as efficient as I can on defense. And the more throughout the years when I would play him, I would watch film. I would key in just specifically on what he's doing in transition, what he's doing in the post and things of that nature. And it carried over in the game when I played him because you look back now and he's saying I'm the best defender that ever did it. Only credit I could give to is Paul because he put that battery in my back to believe that, hey, if I could stick him, I could stick anybody. You know what I mean? And it just was overwhelming that Kobe actually said something to me. Cause I'm like, we never talked in the heat of the battle. It's like he was screaming more for the ref to get me up off of him and wondering why they not calling foul, which I probably was fouling him. But, hey, he was doing a good job of pushing me off, elbowing me in my stomach before he tried to get open and things of that nature that the ref didn't see. I would never complain. I would never call for help. It's just me and him. It's me and him. That's how it is in practice with me and Paul. It's just me and Paul, no help. I have to defend him myself. So that's the initiative I took when I stuck Kobe Bryant, I took it personal. Like, yo, this is the guy. This is the guy this is the guy you got to at least, you ain't going to stop him, but you at least got to slow him down a little bit for us to have a chance. And that was just the battery right there, man. Every time I played against him, man, I'm talking about from the tip. I want to steal it every time from him. I want to contest every time. And in his mindset, I'm pretty sure he was thinking, hey, I'm going to get me a bucket every time, or assist or a foul. So with that competitive edge going against each other, man, I can't say nothing. But, hey, man, I miss those battles.
We got this question from Eric, which maybe the answer's Kobe, maybe it's somebody else. What would you consider the best defensive game you ever played? Does one stick out in your mind?
The best defensive game I ever played. It's a lot of them, man.
Yeah, they're all of them. What are you talking about?
It's a lot of them, man. I would have to say, Oklahoma City series with Durant.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of made things difficult for him. And that was probably and I was kind of surprised that, I was able to have that success with a guy that tall, 7 foot, He came out later and said I was one of the best defenders that he had faced too. So, I mean, these guys that we're talking about, man, it takes so much effort and energy to try to, like, contain or, like, try to even stay in front of, man. These guys are highly talented. So you guys are asking me stuff like, man, it all took work, like real work, like as far as, I would say homework, because I would go home sometimes with with my laptop and have a copy of the game, the upcoming game. And it's just a lot of groundwork, man, but they all take a load, man. Trust no one is harder than the other. Those prolific scorers, all-stars, Hall of Famers, man, you're gonna definitely have to get your rest.
We got a couple questions from David and Seth, and they're similar, so I'll just kind of mix them together and let you go. But they're both about the ACL injury that you suffered back in 2007. And that was it. Looking back, I could hear the grimace in your voice already. Looking back, there was, right before you got hurt, because Paul was already down, there was I don't remember, 10, 15 game run, something like that, where you were averaging 20 points. I mean, you were really coming into your game offensively.
22 points to be exact, 22 points.
So there you go. I don't need to tell you. So,
okay.
So David wants to know, do you feel the ACL injury that you suffered changed the trajectory of your career or role on a team at all? And Seth, just building on that, it felt like when you did come back, obviously elite defender, but you never really focused on scoring again once you returned. Is that true?
Man, that is correct. And whoever asked that question, man, they sound like a real Tony Allen fan, man. Well, after my ACL, man, it was right then and there I knew I had to revitalize my game, because I wasn't as agile. I wasn't as, quick on my feet. I just didn't feel as if I was going to blow right past you every time I got the ball. So what I did was I locked in with my strength and conditioning coach. And that was his name at the time. It was Brian Dew. Mm-hmm. One of the Celtics.
Yeah, B-Dew.
Strength and conditioning guy. And I just pretty much put my career and my strengthening all in his hands. I said, I need my body to be the best strengthening it could be. And I kept in tune with him even when I left and went to Memphis. I just focused on strengthening my leg, eating right, putting the right fluids in my body, vitamins, and I just told myself that I'll never ever eat no fast food burgers or no while I'm playing ball. And I think that was just part of me even tearing my ACL, just not eating right. I mean, it'd be times I would eat. I would get a home-cooked meal, and then my mother would leave sometimes, and then now I'm jumping up after a long nap and running to McDonald's to get a Happy Meal and then going to play at the game. I was young. I didn't understand a lot of that stuff. But as far as your question changing my game, I always thought I could score. I always thought I was a scorer. But when you hurt yourself, you gotta reinvent yourself. I knew for a fact I couldn't jump as high as I could. I couldn't move laterally quick as I could. So I focused in on the defensive things. I strengthened my body, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go this route. I'm gonna do all the little things that the prolific scorers are not doing. Like, you don't see too many superstars diving for loser balls. You don't see too many superstars taking charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't see too many superstars just trying to go out their way on that end, period. So one day, Doc Rivers just had told me, he was like, man, if you want to get on the floor, man, you need to be doing everything that Paul Pierce isn't doing. And I said, okay. I put it together when I got back to my room, and I said, I'm going to be the best glue guy I can be for the rest of my career. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, if this is going to be my niche, if this is going to keep me in the league, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the best at it. And I focused in at it. Like, it hurt me every year that I didn't make first team all defense. Like, that's how passionate I was about the defensive end. Like, you know, you got a lot of guys looking forward. I mean, I'm looking forward to making the All-Star team. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to being all NBA. No, I want to be every year the best defender on the perimeter there is.
Did you ever miss the 22 points a game, that run, or as you reinvented yourself, the other stuff became more thrilling?
Yeah, the defensive side of things became more thrilling. I was kind of getting a kick out of seeing guys frustrated, average. That's good you asked it. I was getting a kick out of guys looking like, yo, I got Tony Allen tonight. Or he got me tonight. Oh, man, it's going to be a long night. And they don't get their average. Like, I was on a run like, yo, what's his average? What he average? Okay, he won't get it. It was more, I got more riled up to do that as opposed to, you know, we were losing at the time too. So it was like 22 points was kind of like a little shaded because we wasn't trying to win anything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like the New Orleans Pelicans right now. Like you're not looking for them to be in the Western Conference Finals right now, but you want them to be fun to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here it is. You had a lot of young guys meet Al Jefferson, Rajon Rondo, who wasn't Rondo at the time, Delonte West, Justin Reed, Kendrick Perkins, Sebastian Telfair, Gerald Green. You know, at the time we were all under 22. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
practically a college team.
Like college team pretty much, and we just out here playing free, and I was able to, get those points off, but the organization didn't look at it like, oh, okay, this is our next phenomenon. You know what I mean? I think they always saw me as a defender, and I came in front. I took full pride in being a defender, man. Like, I hated getting scored on. I hated getting dunked on. I hated the three ball that hit in my face. I hated for somebody even to cross me over. And I took that type of energy every day to fix my body enough to where I won't get hurt, and I'm going to be able to fight through any screen. I'm going to take any screen that come my way. I'm busting through it. And it's going to be a competition within a competition at the two-guard spot, a game within the game. You know?
There's a kid on this year's team. I call him a kid. I mean, he's 26, I think. But Javonte Green, who Danny Ainge has said, it's been written about in the Globe that he wants Green to model his game after yours. Tough, gritty defender. I don't know how much you know about him and his story, his rise to the league to even make it here in the first place, but then to have that comparison made. Are you familiar with him, his potential?
No, I can't say that right off the back that I'm familiar with him, but any guy that Danny Ainge is trying to put in the light of Tony Allen, it sounds so funny to me. It sounds so funny to me because here's Danny Ainge, right? And it's funny because Danny Ainge, I used to always ask him about his job and things and what he do. And, try to just act, inquiring man would want to know, like, what does he do every day for his job? And one day, Danny Ainge told me, yeah, man, I'm looking for somebody to replace you. That's my job every day. I was like, wow. So now just to hear that Danny Ainge said that, he finally found this guy, man. So congratulations to that. But I don't know. And in signing up for that job, man, it comes with not being discouraged. Like, you got to be able to have enough skin to get dunked on. You got to have enough skin to get crossed over and fall. And you got to have enough skin, tough enough skin to know, hey, it's a 48-minute game. And I'm not going to get discouraged. Each minute is a point off your energy bar. And I have to stay up with full stamina. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's how
video game rules.
That was my man. Yeah, that was my mindset. So I don't know, man.
Well, if you want, it's not like you don't know how to get a hold of Danny and those guys. If you want to reach out to Javonte Green, maybe offer him some tidbits, some advice, I'm sure he'd love to hear from you.
Man, hey, man, I'm willing to do that, man. I might follow him on Instagram or Snapchat right now or something.
There you go.
Just to get him.
There was do you speaking of social media, do you hear much from C's fans in your mentions or anywhere else if you bump into somebody? Because, you're still viewed around here as one of the ones that got away, just so popular in your time here that, great that you had this really nice run and the grind father and came into your own in a lot of different ways in Memphis. But as Celtics fans, we hated seeing you go.
Yeah, man, I hated. I didn't want to leave. Trust me, I didn't want to leave. But my wife is from Boston. We visit every so often. She come back to family reunions. Seeing the fam in the summertime. And every time I come into Boston, and that's exactly what I hear. Tony Allen, we love you.
Got to feel good.
Yeah, so that feel good, man. It always brings back good memories, man. It's just like. Just a deep breath, man. It's like, yo, that's what it was about, man. That's what it was all about, man. Just bringing that championship home for the home team, and man, it's just love. It's even till this day, man. So flatter.
I know, obviously, you mentioned Doc a few times. Clearly, he's still close with Doc. You and KG told this story earlier this year doing radio about Austin Rivers, Doc's kid, showing up to a practice when he was in high school, challenging KG to a game, and obviously got pummeled. But you guys talking about just the confidence when he was, I think, still a junior. This guy's going to be in the league. What'd you think of Austin working the refs to get his dad teed up last week?
Oh, Austin Rivers, man, hey, has to be one of the funniest things, man, because I know both of those guys, man. I watched Austin grow. Obviously, Doc coached me. He was so hard on me. Probably thought he was my dad, but just to see that he could take advantage of having a little fun with his dad. Ultimately, we supposed to respect our elders at all times, but this was like a perfect time. This was like a perfect time to do some taunting, and it was funny, man. Real smooth. I liked it. But I know, like he said on his Instagram, Thanksgiving dinner is going to be real silent. So, hey, man, he just started something. And, Dad always will get the last laugh, I believe, in that case, man, when you look at their roster. I kind of like the Clippers, man, but it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting.
So kind of going full circle, and we'll wrap it up here. But, so many guys from that C's era that you were here have gone on to find good success in media. KG doing his thing there when he had Area 21. Obviously, Paul on a national stage. Now Perk, who has really become a media star, doing a lot of ESPN, Fox Sports, even locally. I don't know if you know this. Brian Scalabrine is in Boston. He's working the TV broadcast. One of his producers. Max hit me up. Yeah, Max said to me, this was his question for you. Very to be interpreted however you want. He said, Max just wants to know the truth about Scal.
Scalabrine.
That's
one
right.
Of the best one of the best king of the court one-on-one players I know.
Is that right?
Scalabrine. He played king of the court one-on-one, man. He's getting a bucket on anybody.
Anybody? Even Tony Allen?
Anybody. Even Tony Allen.
That sounds like hype.
Scalabrine, man, the best one-on-one scorer and the king of the court, man. Hey, man, don't nobody want no smoke with Scalabrine.
It's like he paid you off before I even asked the question.
No, that's my boy, man. I love Scalabrine, man. Scalabrine was one of those guys, man, who kept the locker room alive. You know, he always was cheering for the guys. Was always ready. Stay ready. You don't have to get ready. Boston fan favorite. And all his work ethic. That's what we don't talk about. Scalabrine's work ethic. The guy comes in, gets his work in, sprints on the bike, sprints on the treadmill. And these at the times, sometimes he didn't play. These at the times where, you know, he would go maybe 3, 4, 5 games with not playing. But one thing for sure, too, for certain, he always been a professional, and that's my homeboy, Ubuntu. I miss you, Scal. So
next media star, Tony Allen?
I'm trying to work that, man. Tony Allen, I want to be the grandfather in the sports world, man. In the sports radio world, I just want to grind, man. You know, so you see how it goes.
Well, it's a great pleasure having you on this show. Hopefully I didn't keep you too long, but this was a ton of fun going down memory lane. I enjoyed it.
Man, much love, man. My son right here, he cool. He ready to go to school right now, but he had to wait.
I know. I got to pull up YouTube, start to watch all the Tony Allen highlight reels. Most of them the defensive gems against Kobe.
Yes, indeed, man. They fun to watch. Tune in.
Tony Allen, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, much love, man. Thanks for having me, man.
How much fun was that, huh? I got to go back and listen to it again. In all truth, there's just so many stories, and we're definitely going to have Tony Allen on the show again because that was a blast. We're going to get Perk on again, too, because, you know, as long as he isn't too much of a big shot there with ESPN, you know, we got him before he really blew up. Hopefully he'll come back on and remember us little people. This is great. Today's show brought to you by betonline.ag. Go to betonline.ag. Use the promo code CLNS50 for a 50% bonus on your first deposit. Thanks again to Tony, to my producer Evan, to Nick, Larry, John, everybody at CLNS Media, most especially, of course, you. We welcome your feedback. Get me on Twitter, at Adam M. Kaufman, and find us on iTunes. Subscribe to the show. Search Celtics or Celtics Beat. It'll pop right up. Get us on Stitcher, everywhere else, and, of course, the shows do get tweeted out. And subscribe to the CLNS Media YouTube page as well. Show will be posted there along with a whole bunch of sound from the locker room and all of our reporters out doing a great job, always hustling, the grind people of CLNS. All right, Gino, get us out of here.